Well, first let me say that the loss of life is very important. That's a serious issue, and I hate to see lives lost, whether it was in Allen or whether it was down in Brownsville, where an SUV killed about the same number of people. And the issue is not the vehicle. We're not going to ban SUVs because it plowed into some folks, and it's not the first time that's happened. And guns. And people don't like to hear it, but it's not guns, it's people. We have a people problem, and that's what we need to address, is the issue of people. The gun issue, the calling for the ban on assault weapons. I can't find any way that could even define what an assault weapon is, for one thing. And the issue of the age that they're talking about, multiple federal courts have already ruled that the age limitation on gun purchases is unconstitutional. So for us to pass another law that's unconstitutional makes no sense at all, and try to write a law to ban something that nobody can even define would make no sense at all. And so what we need to be addressing is making sure that people are adequately protected. They have the opportunity to self-defense. We made great strides last session with our constitutional carry, and we are making progress with adding protection with our schools. We're putting money into hardening our schools, putting money into making resource officers, more of them available, the number of bills to add folks. Because when it comes down to it, the only thing that will stop a bad person with a gun is a good person with a gun. And that's what we need. We have been fortunate in Allen, there was a good person that was available. There may have been others, we'll never know for sure. But people need to have the ability to be able to defend themselves, and we need to start addressing the problems we have in our society that's leading people to these violent acts. Okay, so what is it you say the common denominator or that style? Is it the length of the barrel? Is it the stock that folds? Is it the pistol grip?
Fire.
Is it semi-automatic? Because we have guns that are 22s. One of the most popular one for hunting rabbits is a Ruger 1022. Style-wise, it has a magazine. It can hold 30 rounds. It fires at about the same rate, and the round that comes out of it is about the same diameter, a little less power behind it. But there's, to define what it would be, so that would be, do we get rid of all semi-automatics? That same weapon you're talking about can be in the style that meets the definition of a pistol. So I point out coming up with a definition that doesn't take a significant number of weapons that can be used for self-defense. You got to remember, every time you talk about wanting to restrict someone that would use it in a bad way, you're keeping a person who would use it in a good way from having it. And so we got to be careful. As you well know, that every bill we pass down here is like a two-edged sword. There are two edges to every bill. You try to get that one edge of what you want done very, very sharp, but it's got a second edge that has unintended consequences. And I'm afraid what we'd be doing is heading down a road in which you had a sword that had two very sharp edges to it, and the unintended consequences would probably put us in worse shape than what we are. I think we have a process now that could be done. I mean, we have a process if people have a mental problem, it's that people are not stepping up and reporting it. If we had red flag laws for a number of these where they talk about after the fact, oh, this person wrote this person did this, said that, or is acting like this, where everybody, but nobody takes action to do anything about it. That's, and I'm talking about treatment they need, not just because they would go out and harm somebody. We're talking about actions of people that are going to harm themselves. And it doesn't have to be a gun. It can be an automobile. I think we'll find that some of these cases of people have just as bad a mental problem that is being ignored. And the other side of that is the potential abuse of every so-called red flag law I've seen has an unintended consequences of it's wide open for abuse for someone that just doesn't like to see self-defense. So that's we'd be very careful when we start going down that road. I think if there was an easy fix to keeping guns out of the hands that was limited to just people who were going to do harm with them, I think it would have already been done. The problem you're faced with is any method you come up with or any plan to keep guns out of one set of hands keeps it out of a whole lot of other hands. And that starts treading on our natural God-given right to self-defense. I can't speak for them, but I would say that we think with about as far as what we could go. I mean, I think that one of the things that attracts these shooters are the gun-free zones, where they know they're not going to have any opposition. That's kind of a magnet for them. One of the things I think we could do is significantly reduce the gun-free zones. But
is that the case at the shopping center?
I don't know if that's necessary. Again, you can't pick out any one particular place. I haven't been to that shopping center. I don't think it was, but I also have been told that there are a lot of stores up there that have the 30-06, 30-07 signs, which mean that people are going to have to leave their weapon in their car to go shop there. So I don't know how many people that might have either thought that, because we have the gun-free zones in Texas are very perverse. I mean, there are lots of them. And so I don't know how many people may have. A lot of stores still put up the old sign that said no weapons allowed unless you have a permit, the various signs up there that may have been trying to abide by those and left their weapon in the car that could have stopped someone. I think we're moving in an age that people need to protect it. If the shopping malls and centers are going to have 30-06, 30-07s not allowing people to carry, I think they have a responsibility to provide more security.
Senator Bob Hall, as always, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jack.
Thank you.
All right.